Loves Bernie. Yeah. Genuinely, I bet if you asked a lot of people who voted for Trump 2 days ago, 3 days ago, time means nothing. A lot of them would like Bernie. Not all of them, but a lot of them. Populism stays winning. People treat populism like it's a dirty word. Populism is a neutral tool. Trust in institutions can be weaponized to hurt people. Populist rhetoric can be weaponized to hurt people. Both of them, they're just rhetorical approaches. They have nothing to do with policy, which is the mistake that our beloved chair is making here. He talks about Biden's policies. Biden was the most pro-worker president of my lifetime. He's correct. Saved union pensions, created millions of good-paying jobs, marched in a picket line. Yeah. But it doesn't matter. As long as he represents the status quo, it does not matter. People don't care about policy. I said something that got me in trouble a while ago while I was critically covering something I think that was said on The Rising. I could be misremembering, but it was years ago. It was when inflation was spiking. And I said, and I might be misremembering the details of this, but this is as I remember it, so it's true to me. I said that the American voters don't care about inflation. They care about what they're told to care about. And some people got mad at me. I feel I've been vindicated. Inflation right now is at target levels. It's gone, it's down, it's done. And Trump's policies promise to increase inflation. It doesn't matter. People care about what they're told to care about. And what people care about is a story. Why do you think Argentina voted for Milei? Do you think that half of Argentina's population is like a radical ANCAP? No. That's ridiculous. Why has support for Milei continued in spite of the police crackdowns, the economic collapse, the record poverty? Because he provides them a narrative. He gives them a story they're more interested in than a continuation of the corrupt status quo Peronist policies, even if those policies are objectively better than the ones that Milei has implemented. Take a look at this interesting chart. Saw this on Twitter, the Everything app, just this morning. For the first time since World War II, every single governing party lost in national elections. They lost their national share. They went down for the first time since World War II. You see over there on the right, all these, I assume, G7 countries, Western European democratic countries. The incumbent parties lost ground. All of them. It's never happened before. The age of liberalism is done. It's dead. It's over. You're not going to win elections off of it. I'm not saying you can't implement liberal policies. You can. Voters don't care. Voters don't know what a policy is. I don't understand this graph, Vosh. Sure. So how far up or down a dot is represents how much ground was gained or lost by the ruling National Party in that year's elections. A dot above the line means that they gained ground. They did better than they did last time. For the first time ever, every incumbent party lost ground, lost percentage of the vote. What have we seen in Canada? What have we seen in America? What have we seen in France? What did we see in Germany? What have we seen in everywhere? Hitler particles? It might seem like it's Hitler particles. And in a lot of cases, that's true. Does this include China, Russia? No, I'm pretty sure this is a map of like Western democracies, which is fair because Western, Russia and China aren't liberal countries, so they're not really applicable in the dynamic. It might seem like Hitler particles. The truth is, people want populist rhetoric, and Hitler is the only one providing it to them. I'm sorry, that's true. It's just true. The capital class permits the growth and development of far-right populism. Everywhere they do, all over the place. They embrace it, they endorse it, they love it because it doesn't challenge them. But they deny the growth of left-wing populist rhetoric. The closest we got was Bernie Sanders. What happened to Jeremy Corbyn? Do you remember? Corbyn, he's not a perfect politician. He's a hell of a lot better than Starmer. What happened to Corbyn? Corbyn was handicapped by his own party. Members of the Labour Party deliberately exacerbated rumors of anti-Semitism occurring within the party in order to cripple their party's chances of winning just to prevent Corbyn from being elected as PM. What's happened here with the Democrats? Do I think that the Democrats rigged things against Bernie Sanders? Well, a little bit, but like for the most part, I think that the average Democratic voter, it was pushed via manufactured consent against Bernie Sanders. Whether one considers that like a rigging, I think that you fairly could. They definitely kept their thumb on the scale. I think that in a neutral media environment, were such a thing ever possible, Bernie Sanders would have won in 2016 and in 2020. But do I think that they did anything comparable to what they did to Corbyn? No, I don't think so. However, had that run through to a general, I think Bernie would have won cleanly. Why didn't it? Because ultimately, the Democrats are beholden to their donors. They're beholden to the same logic. They can allow right-wing populism to spread, even if they push back in a superficial way, not left-wing populism. I don't think any of this sounds conspiratorial. I think it's so not only is it descriptive of what we've seen in the election results just a few days ago, it's descriptive of the entire Western world right now. It's a pattern so clear, so obvious, so repeatably true that I think you have to be delusional to not see it. I understand people are blinded by ideology. I don't expect the liberal listening to this to instantly go, oh, praise Marx. I get it. You don't have to agree with me on the whole like decommodified housing thing, but you have, well, I wish you would, but you don't have to. I wish you would agree with me on this. I wish you would agree with me on this. I wish you would agree with me on this. The age of liberalism is dead. You have to, or you will die with it. You can implement liberal policies. That's not what matters. What matters is the rhetoric. Trust in institutions versus transformative change. We will never move beyond it if people like Jamie Harrison continue to desperately, from the child tax credits to $25,000 for a down payment. How often were child tax credits brought up in the media over the past year? Who cares? I don't. Who cares? That's a thing that happened. That's not a story. People like stories. Nobody cares. You can do as much good as you want. People want a story. People don't want to hear about how you narrowly passed a bipartisan consensus bill in order to marginally improve the lives of such and such people. Vosh, you are correct about the rich donors being the big winners of this election. Yup. Trump's victory adds a record $64 billion to the wealth of the top 10 wealthiest people in the world. Stock market surging. Bitcoin surging. They're having fun. Are you? All of this was for them. This wasn't for the Nazis. This wasn't for the white nationalists. This wasn't for anyone but them. They pulled the levers. They control the strings. They bought this election. It worked. And if you don't get that, there's nothing that can be done. This was the moment that Kamala Harris lost. You've seen this clip a million times. I don't care. We're going to see it again. It's so devastating. The fact that she said this is, again, it's like, this is like a historic fumble that's going to go down forever.
Well, if anything, would you have done something differently than President Biden during the past 4 years?
There is not a thing that comes to mind in terms of, and I've been a part of most of the decisions that have had.
Insane. At a time when approval for Biden is low, satisfaction in the direction of the country is low, to say you are fundamentally exactly the same as the incumbent in an era of anti-incumbency, I don't know if there's anything Kamala Harris could have done to win this election with the scales being tipped as they were. But this guaranteed a loss. And I'm only saying that now in retrospect. At the time, I thought this made things worse for her. I didn't realize how bad it was. I didn't realize how badly this had gone. In what was otherwise an anodyne talk show appearance, Ms. Harris was asked if she would have done something differently for Mr. Biden. She paused, then said, "There is not a thing that comes to mind." In their group texts, Trump advisors rejoiced. They were stunned Ms. Harris did not have a ready-made answer to such a foreseeable and strategically important question. Mr. Blair, the campaign's political director, told the team they needed to get the clip seen by as many voters as possible. By that afternoon, up to 10 million voters received text messages containing the clip in their cell phones. Television ads broadcasted to tens of millions more over the following weeks. And can you blame them? It's a totally unforced error. The Democrats have the numbers. They knew that support for Biden was down, that faith in the country was down. They knew that Kamala Harris's surge in popularity through the DNC was entirely down to her being a breath of fresh air after Joe Biden. And this was said anyway. Why did you not say abortion? Well, to be fair, if Kamala Harris had said anything meaningful, she would have been lying. She is the same. Every Democrat is the same. They all want the same things. They all push the same things. They don't believe in anything except what their, the consultant class tells them they can get 51% approval on. They're shiftless. I say that with my definition of the word, not yours. You. They're shifty. They're anti-xenophobia when Trump is in office, pro-xenophobia when they're in office. They ardently defend trans rights when Trump's in office. When they're in office, they'll follow the law. They don't have beliefs, so they don't have a story. They don't have a spine, so they can't tell you one. Shifty Adam Schiff. I'm not saying that liberals are evil. I'm not saying that they're the greater evil. Liberal policy is objectively better than GOP era policy right now. There's no denying this. Liberals suffer right now from a fundamental inability or unwillingness to understand that their time is over. I'm not saying that it's like, oh, you know, it's 1917 again or something. I'm just saying you need to know the dynamic is shifted. It's been shifted for like a decade now. After 2008, it's all been downhill. Obama did way worse in 2012 than he did in 2008. Then Trump won. Hillary had a historic